How do you feel about the United States' response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and how does it compare to your personal experience on the ground?
Um, I definitely think, obviously, it could have been better in a general sense, especially considering things were as bad as they were, and we were far from the first country that really had to deal with it a lot. But I also think it's definitely hard to find the balance too between like getting people back to work, but also making sure everybody's safe, especially when like people have livelihoods that depend on it. And then I feel like my personal experience is like I'm very lucky. I feel like because like I come from a very like not tiny but somewhat small town where I think we only ended up having like in the peak of it like 40 or 50 cases in our whole town. But it was still hard too at first knowing there's a lot of unknown because it was like everything I would see the news, everything was really bad, and then in my town nothing was bad, but still obeying the rules like they were, and like seeing my town as a ghost town was really kind of spooky. But obviously it had to be done. It was like had to follow guidelines, and that was good. But it was definitely interesting seeing the contrast of like this weird ghost town and then hearing about everything going on in the nation, and that was just so much crazier, and kind of being isolated but also very aware of that.
How is wearing a mask and social distancing personally affecting
So it was definitely taking some getting used to at first. But I feel like wearing a mask is something that's kind of a new normal for me. It's kind of just something I'm used to now, and that is absolutely necessary for sure. Even though, even like the way I see it, the worst thing that could happen if you don't wear a mask is you put someone's life in danger. And like the worst thing that could happen, you do wear a mask, is like a study comes out a couple years later that masks aren't effective. But the worst case scenario for not wearing a mask is so much worse. So I feel like, that's why everyone should wear one no matter what, even if you don't believe it. Because at this point, there's still so much we just don't know. And social distancing is definitely also something I feel like is tough for me just because I'm like a somewhat social person, but it's one of those things that you make these sacrifices to keep everybody safe and healthy.